What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the No Life Digital Podcast. Took a break last week. I was out doing things out in Vegas. I got my new Vegas mug. I've been collecting mugs on my travels, and I got one from Vegas this time. I got prescribed my coffee, which I think is pretty cool. What's up, homies? How was your week off? Your weekends, your week offs?
Fucking hot.
Yeah, it was like 104, 105 in Vegas. It was insane.
Yeah, warm. I stayed inside and pretty much did nothing.
Yeah.
And played video games. Like, that's it.
Yeah, it was hot, man.
I did watch, Saturday was the finale for Summer Games Done Quick, the speedrunning charity marathon. They raised $3 million for Doctors Without Borders.
$3 million?
$3 million. It's the most they've ever raised. And it was kind of crazy because, like, I think 2.4 million was the most they raised, which was during the winter when they raised it for PCF. So they hit that record this year, and then instead of waiting until after the event was over to add in all of the money they got from bits and subs, because it's a sub-only chat, which raises money and also kind of still just a terrible chat to begin with. Once they did that, it got them to like 2.8 million or somewhere around there. And then the idea of 3 million, like if they hadn't dropped that early, I don't think they would never have hit 3 million. So they dropped that early. It went up to 2.8 million. And then once it was like $200,000 within reach of 3 million, people started to donate like crazy. So whoever had that idea, you're freaking genius. That was super smart.
Yeah, it says 3 million from more than 50,000 donors. And in January was 2.4 million.
Yeah, and I donated more than I've ever donated it before. I did put a decent chunk of money into it.
Really?
About like $150 throughout the week. They're one of my favorite marathons, and actually I prefer Doctors Without Borders over PCF just as a charity. I think they do a lot of really good work.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous work too.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then Sunday was Championship Sunday for CEO Fighting Game Festival. So I watched that bunch of tournaments.
Nice. Who won? Sonic Man? What's his name?
I don't
Sanic
know
Man?
who won. I don't know who won Mortal Kombat because I didn't watch Mortal Kombat. I did watch Melee. Unfortunately, Hungerbox won Melee.
Why? Unfortunately, he's the best.
It was a good set between him and Wizrobe. Wizrobe's been in like all of the grand finals lately, and which is crazy because he's mains Captain Falcon in a game in 2019 where like the meta does not say that Captain Falcon should be there. It's really impressive. Like I really enjoy watching him.
Do you think Captain Falcon can ever beat Jigglypuff?
I mean, he's done it.
Oh, really? He's
done it actually a bunch of times this year. It's just not this time. But he actually has, I think, as far as 2019 so far, he has like a winning record against Hungerbox. I think.
Yeah.
At least every time I watch, I think this was like the first or second time he's lost to Hungerbox in a tournament. And this was in grand finals.
How much was the win?
I don't know what the payout was. And then, of course, in Smash Ultimate, it was MK Leia with Joker.
Oh, really?
Too good. He's just too good.
He's not playing Lucina anymore?
I don't know.
Last time I saw him play, he was Lucina.
MK Leo plays a bunch of characters. Like, I know he has a Pocket Lucina. He's got a Pocket Ike. At some point in Smash 4, he played Meta Knight. He played Cloud, so he's got a Cloud. I think he knows Bayonetta if he wanted to, but she's trash in Ultimate. But Joker, he just knows that character so well.
I have to watch that.
Some of the things, man, some of the combos he's pulling, I'm like, I look at him like I could do that, and then I realize, no, it's so you just have to know your reading and spacing so well.
Yeah. All right. Well, what have we been playing? I've been playing a ton of Dead Cells on my vacation, which I can never get enough of. But it looks like you're playing Yakuza.
I got Yakuza Kiwami 2 on PC.
And that's Yakuza 2?
That's the Yakuza 2 remake.
Right.
That game, it's fun. It's fun. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about like being limited in fighting styles from the first game where you had like the 4 different fighting styles, but it works. And I'm just being able to get like a bunch of different finishers is really cool. I think my favorite right now is the you step on a guy's head, you grab another guy, and you do like a swinging neck breaker. It's just, I've done it so many times, and it's so much fun to watch.
What's the story like in 2?
The story so far in 2, I think I'm like in the middle of chapter 5. It's kind of slow burning, but it's really interesting. It's definitely continuing with the Ami Alliance versus the Tojo clan, and the Tojo clan dealing with the ramifications from the first game, where like the clan almost fell. And I just got to the part where you meet Majima again. You played the first one, right?
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but I'm pretty deep
You know
into
the
it.
character Majima.
Yeah.
Majima everywhere. Yeah, in this one, he's got an even weirder, funnier role. So it's just really interesting to see him. The 2 big mini games is like a tower defense mini game using Majima, like a club manager simulator where you're like managing a club. It's really interesting.
I gotta fucking play it, and Yakuza's so fun.
Yeah, and on PC it runs totally fine. It looks great on PC. I've been playing it with controller, of course. I was playing it with my old Wii U Pro controller, but I just picked up the. I showed you guys this before, but I'll show the stream. The 8-bit do SF30 Pro, which is essentially a Bluetooth. Also, you can plug it in through wired USB-C. Gamepad. I mean, the 2 joysticks have clickable buttons. You have your L3 and R3 there, and you've got all the same buttons you would have on any normal controller. And I was playing a little bit of Yakuza with it, and you know what? It kind of reminds me of like a beat 'em ups on the SNES.
Yeah.
So it feels really fine to play it with like essentially a Super Nintendo controller.
Have you played with
an SNES controller makes it feel like SNES? I'm mind blown.
Hey man, Super Famicom controller is the best controller. I've gone on record on this show stating that in the past.
the best of the best?
It is one of my all-time like top 3 favorite controllers, up there with like the 360 controller. Yeah. Which, like, you gotta admit, the 360 controller is one of the best controllers ever made for its time.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, even on Windows, like, if you're gonna emulate any controller, the default is to emulate a 360 controller, especially when you had the wired ones.
Well, yeah, that might also have to do something with, it's a Microsoft product.
Yeah.
Windows.
But it's also a great controller. And then, of course, the original.
As long as it's better than a $180 Microsoft controller, I'm gonna take it.
That Elite controller. It looks nice, but $180 is. No, I'm good. I spent $40 on this. I'm good.
Yeah, that's a little up there.
Heard it here
I'm gonna see how the D-pad is, because I definitely want to test the D-pad out on the Switch.
I mean, I'm being honest. I would totally buy that controller over the Super Elite bullshit.
And I mean, as far as controllers go, I'll always put the PS2. The DS2 is a great controller.
The DualShock 2?
Yeah, the DualShock 2 did everything. It was an improved DualShock 1.
It's okay.
Had good rumble. Like for that era of gaming, the PS2, I mean, being the most popular system of all time, or at least the best selling.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
There's a reason you have to have a good controller if you're gonna also have the best selling console.
I want like a cross between the Pro controller and the Xbox One controller. That's what I want.
That'd be a dope.
Ew. No, because that was going to be my comment. Is no, the PS2 controller miles ahead of Xbox One controller.
No,
I mean, Xbox One controller is the worst thing ever made.
No, it's the best.
No, it's the worst, and it's entirely because it's the size of the console.
No, basically. It's not that big.
I mean, it could be a Dreamcast controller.
Perfect size.
Remember the Dreamcast controller?
No, that was the worst.
N64 controller?
The N64 controller was the worst controller. Till this day, still the worst.
The only reason I think the N64 controller might be one of the worst controllers isn't even the layout. It's the fact that the stick is just, it burns out way too easy.
It's everything. Everything about that controller is terrible. They're
It's just
ugly.
jank.
There's you can only hold 2 of the sticks, so one entire stick you can't even use. It's the worst.
Well, you can't really use the D-pad and the stick at the same time. That's definitely a con.
Yeah. It's just that you just can't use it, so you have to.
And
it's so dumb.
at the same time, though, it introduced the Z button,
Yeah.
which I mean eventually would
Which is
become,
just the
which
R1 button.
well, no, it eventually would become the. Oh, actually, no. That
More the R2.
controller had L and R buttons. That would eventually turn into your L2 and R2s.
Yeah.
The original was the Z button. Was the first to do that.
Yeah, but didn't the PS1 have L2 and R2? Pretty sure it did.
I don't remember if the original
I don't think so.
like not the DualShock, but the original analog. I don't remember if it had R2 and L2. It might have just had R1 L1.
No, I think I had both. I'm pretty sure I had both.
It might have. I don't remember that controller,
yeah.
especially pre DualShock,
It had both.
analog sticks.
Yeah, it had both of them.
It had both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
that's
how
right.
much
But
use
I
got
didn't.
out of them.
I didn't count that because it's like it has both of them, but it's not behind it. It's just side next to each other, janky.
No, it's behind it.
Yeah, it's behind. I'm talking on the behind of the
weren't-
controller.
Oh, you
It's
mean
still
like a
on top.
trigger?
Yeah.
Right, like a trigger.
They were not trigger form.
No,
they
no.
were more.
They were just
More
an extra
additional
shoulder.
Whereas the Z
Right.
button was a trigger
Yeah.
because of the shape of it.
No, the Z trigger was nice, but everything about that. I mean, the C pad. What? Just throw that away. C pad. Come on.
That controller. I mean, it was essentially their like. It was their answer to a 6-figure control, like a 6-button controller, like the Genesis had.
So dumb.
You remember the Genesis?
It was
6-button controller?
bad, but I honestly don't think it was as bad as you think it is. So
I hate
at the
it.
same time, I also hate the Xbox controller.
No, the Xbox is the best.
Either way, I'm gonna see how it works on the Switch, especially since the third game I've been playing has been Super Mario Maker 2,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is.
I have to download that tonight.
I don't know, a lot of people didn't play Mario Maker 1.
I did not.
It sold like trash, but I played Expert Endless last night for a while, and I was on one stage for about 25 minutes. That was just a puzzle stage using P blocks and POW blocks, and it's stages like those that I love.
So
They're
you're
just
getting a
really-
lot of joy out of it?
Yeah, and then I played some of the multiplayer verses. You can't take it seriously because Nintendo Online is jank, but it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you're just going to come across a ton of really bad levels.
I want to
Because
play it.
people suck at making levels.
Have you made any levels?
I'm not good at making levels, so I don't even try.
You gotta try.
I'm a player. I'm a player.
You gotta try because I want to play your levels.
I'm not creative enough for those levels.
Oh, come on.
Some of these levels I've seen are like, I look at them like, that's really cool. I would never have the idea to make that.
You just gotta mess around. You'll get there.
It's definitely puzzles that I like. The only thing that sucks is I'm playing on like the Switch Pro controller and the D-pad. Like, it's a Mario game. I want to use the D-pad. The D-pad on that controller sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks so badly.
See, I'm not a D-pad guy. That's what it is. That's why I like the Xbox controller. I'm much
Yeah, but
rather
I'm
have
playing Mario. I'm not going to play it with an analog stick.
It's 2019. Get the analog stick out. Whip it out. Get the joystick going.
I'm going to play Mario with an analog stick. Come on.
I don't like D-pads because it hurts my
depends on-
thumbs.
It depends. What? Okay, that's fair, I guess. But
It's just not comfortable.
Weird flex, but okay. No, I was gonna say to me it depends on the type of Mario. If it's 2D platform Mario, yeah, I'm going D-pad. But like if it's Mario Odyssey,
If it's
or,
3D Mario, D-pad is trash. Use the analog stick. You're going to play Sunshine or SM64 or even Galaxy games. Hell yeah, go for that analog stick. You need that full range of motion.
Mario Maker though, like that 2D platformer, yeah, I'm going D-pad every time.
I'm just
But
different.
yeah, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. And it's one of those games where like it's gonna be around for a long time just because people are gonna it's literally a game you buy and then everything made in it is just user created.
Yeah. No, I have to. I'm gonna download that right after the show because I wanted to play it. I wanted to get it before Vegas, but it didn't come
Play
out.
the story mode. It's not like a real it's like when I say story mode, it's not really like an overarching story. You're just building a castle, but it introduces you to like Nintendo made courses that are really short, really sweet, and they really just show you here's what these mechanics are. Here's how you could incorporate these certain items into a level. So they're good levels.
Oh, so the story mode is like a building mode and not really a playing mode.
It's not. No, it's more of a playing mode, but it's a playing mode to introduce you to the new concepts.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, all right, we've introduced ice physics. Here's a level that is all about ice physics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice way to show you what these levels and what these mechanics can do for you to then take and go, okay, I saw Nintendo try this in this level. Let me see what I can do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's neat. I mean, it's over 100 different courses. Some of them are actually a little difficult. Other ones are pretty straightforward, easy. There's some really creative ones. And there's also clear conditions like collect 100 coins, or my favorite, and by favorite I mean the one I hate the most, don't jump, which also includes ever leaving the ground, even if you don't press the jump button.
That sounds terrible.
It is awful. But it's a clear condition.
Right. All right. Well, what else have you been playing? What is Judgment?
Judgment is it's by the same team that made Yakuza.
Oh.
It's essentially a Yakuza spinoff. It just released on PS4 last week.
What is this?
It is so much fun.
Is this like Yakuza?
It's exactly like Yakuza, except you play like a guy a private investigator who essentially used to be a lawyer, used to be a defense attorney, until he had a case where he got you don't know, like in Japan, like getting an innocent like verdict is like impossible.
Wait, what do you mean?
He actually got in court of law. It's like a 99.9% conviction rate
In Japan?
Yeah, their courts are extremely strict.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
It's impossible to like really prove innocence. So he got a murder proved innocent, and then that guy later that day committed murder again.
Wow.
And dealing with the repercussions of that, and like how do you like live with yourself? So he turns to like a life of being a private eye. So it's got like Yakuza combat with like almost Ace Attorney, like Phoenix Wright style investigations. And it's pretty fun. It plays a lot like a Yakuza game.
Is it silly?
What's up?
Is it like a silly game?
There's some silly sub stories in it.
But it's not like Yakuza.
It definitely starts very straightforward, unlike Yakuza, where like as far as like chapter 1, you can start doing crazy sub stories. You kind of have to get through the first kind of chapter or two before you get to those like fun little weird side stories that are pretty pretty out there. But they're there. I mean, it's just like any other Yakuza game. It's got that silly quirk to it. Definitely fun. Combat, just like another Yakuza game. Combat feels great. He's got 2 different styles you can switch between. One for groups and one for solos. Almost kind of like if you played Yakuza 1, going between like the Rush style and like Beast style.
Right.
Where you would definitely use Rush if you were like soloing somebody like a boss. But if you were going against like a giant group of enemies, you would use that Beast style. But same mechanics. It's set in the same location, Kamurocho. So
this was just released, by the way.
Yeah, it came out. Well, it came out in Japan a while ago, and then it just came to the West last week.
Okay.
It came out on Tuesday. Mario Maker came out on Friday. So we're in that season. Games are coming out. I got 2 weeks until Marvel Ultimate Alliance. A week after that for Fire Emblem.
There you go.
I got Astral Chain in December and in August. September's got Daemon X Machina. I got too many games, man.
Never too many.
It's too many. I got too many coming out.
Never.
I gotta know life everything.
This game looks pretty cool. I love Yakuza, so I gotta.
It's fun, and you don't have to play a Yakuza game to get into it. It doesn't have any like none of the story or characters from the Yakuza series really kind of bleed over into it.
Yeah.
But
is it more like? Is it more updated? Like, because Yakuza 1, it shows its age pretty pretty heavily.
It's still based on that Kiwami, like the engine I think from the Kiwami games, but it's definitely the most updated engine they have of the Dragon engine. It looks good.
Okay.
And it plays good.
Yeah. I'll check it out. You also played Bloodstained, right?
I have not yet.
Oh, okay.
It's on my list to pick up. There have been issues with the Switch port, which we will talk about. So I think I might be picking it up on PC.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stuff about the Switch ports.
That, and they also
Crashing
had a
all
lot
over
of
the place.
problems where they had a glitch that they had to patch out. Unfortunately, they couldn't fix anyone's save data, so like people who had been playing for like 10 hours, they were like, "Hey, got to restart your game. We can't save it." And that pissed a lot of people off.
Ouchies.
But the game is still
justifiably.
really good from what I heard.
Yeah, I hear
Good.
it's pretty
Okay.
cool. I want to check it out, but yeah, I heard about all this crashing and corruption going on, so.
Yeah, with the chest glitch or whatever it was, where you could like soft lock yourself essentially completely out.
Yeah, because I was trying to get
I
a
think
new
it auto
game.
saves, so like you just got fucked.
Yeah, I wanted to get a new game for the plane, and that was going to be the one that I got, but I'm not going to buy a
I think
game
you
that
dodged a
fucking-
bullet on that one for
Yeah.
the Switch.
Yeah.
That might be a PC game.
All right, Jerry, you playing anything new or no?
Not really. Most have been pretty busy. I started playing a bit of Hearts of Iron 4 again, but like nothing new really.
What is that?
Hearts of Iron 4 is a grand strategy game for World War II. It's a lot. It's a map game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like you control a country and try to win World War II basically. But like it's not really an RTS, but like you have units and stuff like that, but it's more
It's like a risk game.
it's kind of like computer Risk on like crack.
Yeah.
Because you still draw battle plans and stuff like that, but you don't like it's all AI based execution.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. It's extremely difficult actually, but yeah, mostly I've just been dabbling in that, but I haven't been able to get into much lately.
Yeah. Same. Plus, there's not too much new stuff going on anyway.
No, but there is Steam Summer Sale going on still,
Yeah.
which has been a shit show.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Is that in the news anywhere, Doobie? I don't think it is.
Which is it?
The Steam stuff.
I did not put any of the Steam stuff in. I don't even understand this Steam sale thing that they're doing right now.
So
And
what's
that's
going
why
on?
It's a shit show.
So what's going
I just
on,
don't-
Jerry? What's the
like,
deal?
Usually, like the Steam sale, like thing they do with the cards or whatever, usually is understandable. I don't understand this Grand Prix thing.
Me either.
Well, it was like the cards, but they made it more convoluted, from what I understand. Because I never like buy into the card or like Steam sale mini games. Because to be honest, I'm not going to spend as much money to care. Basically, usually on Steam summer sales. But I guess you could like game the system if you did figure it out, but no one could really was having trouble figuring it out because the way it was trying to. There's just so many like weird cards for the games. So one of them that's been exploited a lot is Starbound. The game Starbound, if you remember that, you can buy that and basically just glitch it infinitely to where people have been getting like level 90 Steam accounts by just spending money repeatedly on Starbound. But like how all of it actually works, I don't really know, and I think that's been the biggest issue is why they've changed it like 8 times now, so I definitely don't know.
Yeah, like what is all
this?
this racing stuff? What is the teams? What are these teams?
Yeah,
If you're wondering, Team Corgi is heavily in the lead. Doesn't look like anyone's catching up to Team Corgi, so maybe they figured out how to game it. Yeah, I have no idea.
dude, I don't know. Yeah, and it changes every day, but it's also like, dude, what is your teams? How do you choose teams? Like, what is all of this? So I guess you have to play a new game, review a new game, add 3 items to your wish list, then watch the Steam broadcast fake Twitch thing.
Right.
Which apparently people do, but I never understood that.
I mean, I watch them when I'm looking at a game. If they have it up, I'll watch it, but very rarely. I mean, I don't sit and
That's
watch
it.
it like at Twitch.
No.
It sounds like too much work for too little reward.
But they finally started like going through and like adding quests for rewards, but it's like I also don't really get what are the rewards? What do you get? What's the point? You get what? You get a sticker in Steam? Who cares? But yeah, I just the whole thing I not in I don't get it at all. Oh, so okay, you have to keep playing games and buying games for your team, and I don't know how you get assigned a team or chosen a team at all, but you get in a team, and then whichever team eventually wins at the end of the entire sale, Steam summer sale, 1,000 people from that team randomly get 3 games from their wish list. So
Interesting.
congratulations, 1,000 people out of like the what, a billion install base of Steam gets some free games if they're on the winning team, maybe.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's stupid. All right, let's
It's
get
like
into some other
basically
news.
use the sale how you'd normally use the sale. Buy a game if you want the game. Ignore the rest of this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't. Well, they make you do all this other dumb shit. Like if it was just like collect points every game you buy and then use those points to reimburse for another game, like how most things do it, then that's cool. But this is like, you have to watch a broadcast. It's so dumb. All right, Cuphead DLC. We got some a new trailer, the delicious last course, and looks pretty cool, man. Is it not on Switch? Oh, it is.
Switch, yeah. This is the DLC that's coming to everything. It's free DLC. So if you bought the game, you'll be getting this. It was supposed to come out 2019, but it's being pushed back to 2020, which is no surprise. That hand-drawn animation takes a while to produce. And then the music, like I'm already hearing the music, and you know what?
You're dancing in
Can't
your
wait to
head.
get the new OST with additional tracks because that's a banger that's going on the car. I love how the chef's name is Chef Salt Baker, which
Okay.
is clearly a reference to just straight up jazz musician Chet Baker.
Yeah.
And definitely with the jazz style of music you're hearing, like, yeah.
All right.
I can't. I love Cuphead. This is such a good game. DLC, anything.
I still haven't got into it yet. Should I get into that before I get into
Into Bloodstained?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play Cuphead first. It's just it's a really enjoyable game. And I know you coming from like a Dark Souls, like you enjoy
I like some hard games.
You enjoy hard bosses with like pattern recognitions.
Yeah.
You'll like Cuphead.
Okay.
Oh, I do think. Okay, I just noticed this about the Steam sale too. I guess people win every single day, but they're showing what games are being given out the most. Guess what games are given out the most? Not
Bad
even
Rats.
No, Cyberpunk. Literally every single day, it's been Cyberpunk, Sekiro, and Total War 3 Kingdoms. Maybe sometimes Octopath, but it's like those 4 games because yeah.
Octopath is a good game.
Dude, I mean, that's not a bad deal. If you can get Cyberpunk for free, that's pretty cool.
If you're one of the 1,000 people chosen on Team Corgi, because also Team Corgi is won it every single fucking day.
Oh, so you can't even pick your team, though? I don't think you can. I didn't see anywhere that you could. All right. If I can get Cyberpunk for free, I'd be a happy camper. Yeah, we talked about Bloodstained.
Okay, you do get to choose your team, so everyone is just choosing Corgi to deal with all of this stupid bullshit.
Yeah,
That's why
that
Corgi's
makes
always
sense.
winning. Everyone is on Team Corgi.
Well, at least it's safe to say Steam probably will never do anything like this again.
I mean, Cyberpunk being the #1 title makes sense. Speaking of Cyberpunk, we have Cyberpunk news. I'll take over for this part. Yeah, you can get 3 different origin stories to choose from in Cyberpunk, which I'm wondering how different they are. This game, just more news comes out about it, the more excited I am for it.
Same, but at the same time, I'm going to challenge that and say, are there really 3 starting paths, or is there only the one where everyone picks Keanu Reeves?
Or are they like starting paths, but it's really for the first hour and then it's just all the same?
I mean, if it was any other developer, I'd say probably, but it is CD Projekt Red.
No, yeah, it is.
So it's
And like,
really hard to doubt. Like when they say something, they usually go through with it. You know.
well, it's also if
I
it's
just don't want a Mass Effect
that would
3.
be
Your
cool.
choices matter, but they don't.
Yeah.
Fair, and like I don't think they'll matter super crazily, but at the same time, I mean, if they do it like Witcher 3, where even if it is just the tutorial zone, how fucking long was the tutorial zone in Witcher 3?
Yeah. It was a whole game.
And I'm always gonna be the one to say it. Like I always prefer. And it's actually funny. Like when it comes to Fallout and Elder Scrolls, I always prefer the more fantasy. But when it comes to like this, I think I'm really leaning towards that cyberpunk more than I am the fantasy setting.
Yeah.
So while like Witcher 3, like I enjoyed my time with it that I did play, I really just like fell in love with, even though it wasn't cyberpunk, it definitely had more of like a technological aspect to it, which was Horizon Zero Dawn. And I can already tell cyberpunk I'm gonna fall in love with.
Yeah, and this is a lot more adult. Like that's one thing that I really loved about Witcher was like it's an adult game. You know, they don't hold back any of the storylines, and it's meant for adults. And it's another reason why I love Rockstar so much, because I hate playing a game where they try to dance around the ESRB rating, and it's just like, just give me the hardcore shit. That's what I want to play. And from what we've been seeing and what we've been hearing, Cyberpunk is going to deliver on that front as well. Supposedly, too, they were discussing playing as you could essentially play as a trans person, which I think would be one of the first games that I know of where you would be able to choose that, like an actual sort of trans person, which I think is cool too, because that's very sort of cyberpunkish as well. And I'm super interested in how this whole thing unfolds. And it's crazy how this is coming out next year. It's right around the fucking corner, man. So
Yeah.
let's go. I'm fucking
Also,
pumped.
Another thing to add too, which I think is cool, is they acknowledged you can take pacifist routes too, apparently, and still beat it.
Yeah.
So that when there's a game that it's like that tells me there is a lot of different ways to play it, which is cool to me. Or it
Yeah.
gets me more excited that maybe choices do matter.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to, I hope like if you could do a pacifist route, that it really is like deeply embedded in the system, where it's not just like you can play the pacifist route, but you'll still end up in like a shooting scene and like a pivotal moment in the story. I would love it where it's like, if you're the pacifist, then that cutscene is different and it's completely different sort of vibe in that game, because then you could there's so much replayability to it. But yeah, multiple endings, multiple origin stories. It almost seems too good to be true.
Sounds like multiple replayability.
It sounds too good to be true. The hype is getting so unreal.
I'm always a fan of replayability in games. Like, if you can get the most out of your buck, like the most bang out of your buck, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually working. I have a video, about 10-minute video shot of talking about all of the controversies around Cyberpunk in terms of like race and sex and gender, and just some of the stuff that they kind of got controversy from places like Kotaku and Rock Paper Shotgun. And I didn't really finish it because I don't feel it's very. I feel like a lot of it is just clickbait titles that are trying to drum up attention. So I didn't really want to feed into that. But there are people who are criticizing that game on that front, and I'm also interested in seeing how they resolve those issues in the game, because I feel like once the game comes out, it's just the same like with Witcher. The Witcher kind of had the same sort of thing where it was very machismo style, but
I think that's
once it was released, people fucking loved it.
I think that's one of the things, like you say, like you like about them, is they don't tiptoe around the issues.
Right.
Like, they're like, hey, this is a thing in our games. If you don't like it, don't buy it.
Yeah. And it's
Simple
never
as that.
done. It's never done in like a malice way either. It's just part of the world, part of the story. Same with Rockstar. You know, I would say the only criticism that they really have gotten was from the working conditions. It's never about the jokes or the tone that's in their games or the dialogue options. The fact that you can, it's like a mass murder simulator.
Well,
except in the early 2000s, and what's his name? The lawyer from Florida, Jack something.
Yeah,
the last 5
He
years.
was an idiot. And he got disbarred anyway from the Florida bar.
Like the last 5 years, sure, I'm agreeing with you. Like, but if you look at Grand Theft Auto 4 and everything before, you know how they wanted to ban the entire series and video.
Hot coffee mod.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of controversy.
But it wasn't. It was more. That was more in like the political realm. The way that this is coming at Cyberpunk is more from the gaming industry itself, like from gaming journalists. And I don't know how far that title extends, you know, gaming journalist, but it's certainly something that was enough to make me want to shoot a video on it, because there's a lot of headlines. With the
exception of Jason Schreier, Kotaku really offers nothing.
I would have to agree.
Like, and I'm surprised he's still with Kotaku, because he easily go out on his own and be his own self-publisher for his own articles and have his own site, but he sticks with Kotaku. But like, he actually brings good to the table. Like, he brings a lot of really interesting reports.
Yeah.
So if I see like a Kotaku article, I will usually dismiss it. If I see Jason Schreier on the title, I will more than likely actually give it a read.
Yeah, it kind of hurt. I feel like it kind of hurts credibility, because some of the articles were from Kotaku that were criticizing Cyberpunk. More so Rock, Paper, Shotgun, which I didn't realize was that heavy Kotaku'd until I started reading these articles. But I mean, yeah, I don't care. It does. It's SJW stuff. It doesn't really bother me, but it was something that I wanted to talk about, because a lot of it was so misguided. Like, speaking on race, and they didn't realize this entire story came from a black man. This is his sort of world that he built, and calling the gangs animals was not a relation to race, and that wasn't something CD Projekt Red did. It was just part of the world that he created, and the fact that they act like animals.
Other people project their own ideas on it.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was interesting, but I didn't know if it was more than just clickbait, because I started getting that feeling. A lot of it's just clickbait these days. They just want to write some headline to get you riled up and comment in their comment section to increase their engagements, and I didn't know if I was feeding into that. So I have the footage, I just never really did anything with it.
But I was gonna say, and that kind of does suck, that I agree to an extent that Rock, Paper, Shotgun's been going that way, which sucks, because like 5 years ago or so, they were really fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, what's his name? Logo was we were pulling articles from Rock, Paper, Shotgun a lot.
Well, yeah, because like back in the day, Rock, Paper, like when they first started, Rock, Paper, Shotgun was really, really good.
Yeah.
I usually don't stick to opinion pieces. I usually stick to just news.
Yeah, no.
That's why my go-to sites are, even though they're shit, PlayStation Lifestyle.
Well, which literally just crashed on me, by the way.
I'm not surprised. It's a bad site.
Yeah, I do.
It's a decent curation of just news. Just what I want. If I want opinionated articles, I know where to find them.
Well, this is Doobie finding news for us. It's PlayStation Lifestyle or whatever.
And Nintendo Life.
Nintendo Life. The articles that we're talking about all of the time, we are very lucky if there's more than 2 sentences most of the time.
Yeah. Well, I did want to say, because the reason why I really wanted to make that video is because there was the writer at Rock, Paper, Shotgun was able to view the demo at E3, and he was able to write down his entire opinion on what he saw in the demo, and he ended up being soured by the animals and the conversation around sexuality, that he started to write it in a way where it's like, I don't know if I'm getting the actual true depiction of what he saw. It seemed like he was trying to spin it where he was basically saying it's boring. It looked boring. Uninspired gunplay, and it just seemed like maybe that was part of the spin of his bias on his own sort of ideals.
What I've heard, everybody who did the longer, like, behind closed doors demo, thought that the demo that people got on the show floor was a much better representation of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas they ran in the behind closed doors demo, they ran through character creation, which takes a while, the tutorial, which takes a while, whereas the show floor demo was like, you're in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're
So-
just shooting away.
Yes, I mean, it's one of those things where like a behind the closed doors demo isn't always the better demo.
No. But I am interested in seeing how the release is presented to these journalists. I'm curious to see if a lot of those conversations still hold up. Because like I said, The Witcher had the same sort of controversy where, it was a lot of this masculine, masturbatory speak. But then it came out and people understand like that's the world, that's the medieval world that you live in. That's what it was. Women didn't really have a place in that world. You know?
It's sad, but it's
People
also
criticized Game of Thrones in that world.
Yeah.
and again, that's a lot of medieval fantasy-ish things like that. But what I was gonna say too was, have you read any of the Witcher books? Like it is just dude porn.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the whole fucking series.
Yeah.
It's an erotic women's novel written for men.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, dude porn is the best way to describe it. Not dudes in porn, but porn for dudes who want to watch cool dudes, basically. That's what it is. All right. Sony focusing on AAA games on PS5. Indie devs feel snubbed. PlayStation Lifestyle, here it is. A new report published by Wall Street Journal claims that Sony will be targeting hardcore gamers with its next-gen console, offering graphically intensive games and high-quality exclusives. That's what I want. Thank you, Trash Mantrafo, for the follow. That's what I want. That's my niche right there, if that's a niche at all. AAA blockbuster titles, trillion-dollar budgets, and I'm happy to see that a Wall Street Journal journalist was able to find out that that's kind of what they're offering here. I don't know why. Why do indie devs feel snubbed? I don't get that. Exclusives at a small video game studios have told Wall Street Journal that they feel snubbed by Sony, which is reportedly opting out of showcasing indie titles at Tokyo Game Show in 2019. Instead, they have received support from Nintendo.
I think it's because Nintendo and Microsoft, both of them, make it a key point in their video presentations where they say, like, here's our Nindies. And Nintendo will even be like, hey, here's one of their directs. This is only for like indies, and those get a lot of views, which leads to a lot of sales.
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft has their own, I think, what is it, like ID at Xbox and independent developers at Xbox, something like that. They have their own segments that they do. Both of them have shown a lot of love towards the indie developers, whereas I've seen a lot of indie titles release on Xbox and Switch. I think Cuphead is Switch, Microsoft, Xbox, not on PlayStation.
No. I mean,
it might also be because the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft is very strong. But
if you're an indie dev, I mean, depending on the type of game, I mean, some indie games, I mean, Witcher 3 is essentially an indie game. So when it's in that sense, then I can see you kind of maybe feeling snubbed. But I mean, if you're doing a game that's not very graphically intensive and doesn't take a lot of processing power, I think the Switch is the far, far better option to market towards than Sony. I just don't see Sony as a indie machine like I do even the Xbox, because the Xbox did have like a strong indie presence as well. It's either PC or Switch. That's personally, that's what I would go with. So if you're feeling snubbed by Sony, then maybe I guess that's a market segment that you do want to tap into, though, since it is so prevalent.
Yeah, I agree with both of that because, Sony is going to have a big market share again, probably. So is Xbox, but I also entirely agree with you that, yeah, I'm probably not going to sit on my couch and like load up my 50-inch TV or whatever to play an indie game.
Yeah. Right. NBA 2K19 now has unskippable ads in game. Yeah, I heard about this.
And RIP 2K.
That is possibly the worst thing you can do to a game. You cannot put ads like that in the game. A Reddit post on the matter has received the bulk of the attention so far. Many fans within the thread are lamenting the ads, sharing disdain at having paid $60 for the title. One Redditor in the thread, Pray for Death, posted a video of how long the game takes to load, now explaining, tested this out with a video. Sadly, OP is right. It takes about 1 minute 7 seconds to load to tip off with ads. It takes 1 minute 7 seconds to load game to tip off with skipping when can. Can't skip ad. Load is in bottom right. About 15 seconds of ad with the game loaded. Testing the advertisement during load of game. Once game is load complete, you have to watch the rest of the ad and cannot skip. Pathetic choice by 2K to include ads in a $60 game.
I'm okay. Before we really get into this and my actual opinions, I do just gotta point out it's pretty fucking realistic. Then it feels like basketball. Then
yeah. Imagine if you had to actually put ads in Madden.
Exactly. Like if it's a sports game, okay, every intermission, you gotta watch like 30. You gotta watch a good solid 10 minutes of just B-roll ads.
Yeah.
No, this is fucking retarded. This is trash. This is trash.
I mean, come on. Yeah, it's oh, they show it here, the video. It's pretty apparent. You have to watch the ad. Ah, man, what are they thinking, dude? Just charge a little bit more, If you really have to do that, just charge a little bit more. There's people who play 2K, they will pay the money. Just say, hey, it's either that or ads. I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty yeah, and they're not short ads. That's the thing. It's not like a 2-second like, hey, buy Gatorade and then off to. It's a legitimate commercial that you have to watch in between tip off.
Which is really dumb, but they're at least staying true that it looks like it's all FX and TNT, where the channels that have basketball rights.
It is.
So it's realistic, but no.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe in terms for their license, they say, hey, you have to put ads in your game. Imagine if that's sort of where we go from here. Oh my God. This is my worry, that this becomes normalized, because and I don't mean any offense to anyone when I say this, but the NBA 2K19 crowd is not the most, hardcore pro gamer rights crowd. So I am a little bit worried that they're just like, oh, well, now we have ads in the game, and then that's just where we go from here. It's a little bit worrying. All right.
Hey, dude, that's what you get for not having MUT mode, I guess.
There you go.
Why? It's always sports games. Why EA and 2K? 2K used to be really cool making sports games, but why are both of these just trying to do the shittiest fucking sports games ever?
Because their audience doesn't give a shit. That's what it seems like. They will still buy the game. It doesn't matter. They've been ripped off every time.
I'm still gonna probably buy Madden and NHL.
I will too. And I will too, man.
Well, come on, bro. I'm not buying 2K if there's ads in it. I can live with MUT mode because I don't have to fucking play it or spend money on it.
Right.
But ads, that's another barrier where it's like, no.
If Madden Madden 19 or 20, whichever one's up next, if that has ads in it at all, like that you can't skip, I'm not buying it. I'll just skip it. It's just not worth it for me, because it's just not worth it. Definitely not buying no fucking 2K with ads that you can't skip. That's insane. New Ape Escape game might be in development, as well as what does it say? Maybe sort of a remake like Spyro and Crash. Ape Escape was cool.
That was the first real game I remember on the PlayStation utilizing the original DualShock.
Yeah.
The analog sticks.
Yep.
I'd be totally down for either a completely new game or remake that first one, or do a collection of the first three in that like Crash Spyro style. I would buy it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Ape Escape. I didn't think it was that fun, but some people really went crazy for it.
They went bananas. Oh, I got jokes today.
But see, like now the analog controller is so ubiquitous, it's like
They would have to figure out something new to do with it, like, and more than just upgrading the graphics. Especially if they made a new game, how are you going to differentiate it? Like,
yeah.
Where's the gimmick coming from?
That's what it was. Like when it first was released, it was a showcase for the analog controller. It wasn't really, in my opinion, it wasn't like a fully fledged game. It was a gimmick, really. It had a gimmick to it, and that's what you played for.
And then the second one took that gimmick and actually made a full game that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the series. They were, I mean, back in the PlayStation 1, like before everything was just pure story. It was like, oh, here's just a fun 3D platformer game about catching monkeys.
What about a live action Final Fantasy television series?
As somebody who saw The Spirits Within in theaters, this is weird. But it's based on Final Fantasy 14, which is the MMO. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I think it comes down to, like, what the basis of the story is and what are the references to Final Fantasy. As somebody who doesn't play the MMO, I really don't know how you sell me on this.
What about the Witcher Netflix movie?
I saw the pictures of the girl. They look good.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill actually doesn't look bad.
No, he looks like pretty badass Geralt.
I only saw the one sword. Where's the second sword?
Yeah, that's a good question. They're gonna have to work that in there.
Is this an origin story of how he becomes the witch? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, here's a little side by side. He's not as matured as I would hope, because it's got to be maybe before he becomes, Witcher 3 Geralt. But he is kind of like Witcher 1, Witcher 2 Geralt. I could see that. He does look
I'll
pretty...
definitely watch it when it comes out.
He is a handsome son of a bitch, isn't he?
Is there a release date on that?
Yes, there was. I don't know what it is, though. Let me see if I can find it.
I assume sometime this year.
I think pretty soon. Q4.
Okay.
Q4 this year.
So winter.
Yeah. Likely release date is Friday, November 1st. All right. How ranked will work in Apex Legends, new season and new patch details? Yeah, how does ranking works? How does rank mode work?
So they're gonna be doing so you got bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, Apex Predator, which is that final ranking. Everyone starts in bronze 4. You have a certain amount of like RP you earn per match, depending on what you do in the match. You can earn up to 15 RP, like ranked points. And then once you're out of bronze, you have to like start spending some of those points to enter matches. There are certain things like Lost Forgiveness and things like that. And then they do say once you enter the next like tier, you'll never drop back down, except through subclasses. So if you're bronze, like once you hit out of bronze and you're in silver, if you're in silver 4, then you move to silver 3, you could always go back down to silver 4. But as soon as you pass the threshold from like silver to gold or gold to platinum, you don't drop back down into gold or into silver. It's pretty interesting. They are putting in penalties for leaving the games early. So if you just bail before your team loses, I think it starts at 5-minute timeout, and then your time will continue to increase if you continue to do it. So you'll just won't be able to play. Which is more, it's a way to try to get people to stop from just bailing as soon as they get knocked down.
Yeah, well, they need to do something for ranked mode. I mean, casual mode, hopefully they keep that in there, just because it's so toxic. You have to bail. Some games, you just have to fucking bail.
Yeah, I think in regular, I don't think they're initiating that, but it's definitely in ranked mode for it.
Yeah, I would expect it in ranked mode.
Yeah, and some people are just going to do it. They'll take the 5-minute timeout. They don't care. Whatever. It's just how it's going to be if you play solo. And then, of course, you get the rewards. Let's see, kills are worth 1 RP. You get a max of 5. So if you get any more, so like essentially 5 kills, any more than that, you're not getting any points.
Why?
Top 10 is worth 2. Top 5 is worth 4. Top 3 is worth 7, and a win is worth 12. So a max of 17 you can earn.
Yeah.
No demotion between tiers, only between divisions. So like 1 through 4 is the divisions. Let's see, with loss forgiveness, they'll take into account like your performance if you lost, or if there are forces beyond your control, like if you got an error and you're crashed or something happened, like a code leaf, which has been an issue, then they're not gonna like take away they're not gonna dock you for that. You'll have a 0 net loss if you would lose your points for the match.
That's
So,
not
it's
exploitable.
That's what I was just
At all.
thinking.
We'll see.
Just
It's their
thinking
first
that.
foray into ranked mode, so we'll see. I mean, they're going to definitely tweak it. They'll definitely tweak it over time. Nothing's going to be perfect on the first go.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that they are looking at like actually making this a competitive game, which is what I've always wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we got the first steps into it, and then we got a bunch of bug updates, like bugs in the patches. So they introduced new character Watson. The big boys, Gibraltar and Caustic, they're fortified now, increases their like tank health up to 15% from 10 in terms of damage reduction. They are also now prevented from being slowed down by gunfire. Wraith, Lifeline, and Pathfinder now have the low profile passive, which increases the damage they receive by 5%. Bloodhound got a buff to the Eye of the Allfather ability, which now tracks moving enemies. So instead of seeing just the outline, you'll actually see them moving. It's a longer range from I think it was like 90 to now 110. And now you can see clues up to 90, 60. Mirage can also cancel out of his cloaking ability, which I think is a big change for his ultimate because I've been playing Mirage a lot. And a bunch of changes to weapons.
That's what I think about this patch. Watson's cool.
Interesting.
They need to add more shit, dude. Come on. You're
They
up
added
against
in-
fucking Fortnite. They
they
release a
added
new
in-
new celebrity plays that fucking game every day.
They added in emotes for when you're diving. They added in music, so you can unlock music to play.
This is their idea of an update. Alternator damage 13 to 15. Come on. You gotta wake your player base up. Watson's cool. It introduces a completely different sort of play style.
You can't hold them to Fortnite standards because the team at Fortnite they're on constant crunch.
We're talking EA here, okay, Doobie? This is a company
but
with
it's also Respawn.
unlimited funds.
Respawn doesn't want to do with crunch. They don't want to work 100-hour weeks.
Yeah. Well,
I can't blame them for that.
I can't blame them either, but
because who am I to say, fuck you, work your asses off and work crunch so I can have my game?
That's what the
What
show's.
the fuck am I, some fucking neckbeard?
That's what the show is for. Is to wake these fucking devs up. Hire someone else.
I like that Nintendo that they'd rather delay a game than work 100-hour weeks.
I mean,
I respect that.
I mean, at
I have too much
least
shit to play as it is.
at least give us a second map. I'm so sick of one map. I can't do it. I'm not the type of player.
An update to the map. I did play a little bit. And I was in the map. Like Bridges is gone. A couple of other areas of the map are down. They have the Leviathans now in the middle of the map, so you can get stomped by them.
Okay.
They did some changes to the map. There are some places that haven't been changed, of course. But it's an updated map, which is kind of cool. Like I think like an evolving map is interesting. I would like to see a second complete map, but you're not going to get that in season 2.
That's fair, but no, I agree with that. Like, no, updated seems cool, but yeah, I want more maps. I want more maps more than I care about more heroes because
Or more game modes, like give me solo, give me duo.
Against Fortnite, yeah, I want solo. Yeah,
solo. I still don't really understand how solo would work.
Just like
Because
it
a
would
lot
in
of
every other battle royale.
Yeah, but in every other battle royale, it doesn't have specific champions with hero abilities. Some abilities are not going to be balanced for.
Call of Duty has it.
That's okay.
Wraith has a way to make portals. That's great for team play. That's a shitty ultimate when you're playing solo.
I mean, like,
True, but you can also go invisible, which would be broken as solo.
This is the
Wraith,
thing.
you can't go invisible.
This is the thing.
I mean, you can, but that's her passive, which is it's not as broken as you think it is.
Well, this is the thing. I've been playing battle royales for
and then you're gonna have 60 people playing Wraith. That's gonna be fun to watch.
You don't watch it then. It's not supposed to be fun to watch. It's supposed to be fun to fucking play.
Nobody wants to play against 60 Wraith. Who wants to play against 60 Pathfinders all grappling everywhere?
That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen.
That sounds like a fucking nightmare.
No, that wouldn't happen.
Then don't play that game mode. That's like that. This is the problem I have with a lot of games at the moment is everything has to be fucking balanced. No, it doesn't. Make a fun game mode. It's okay.
Yeah,
like, you can have multiple game modes. You can have multiple game modes that aren't all entirely ultra balanced, and that's okay. People won't play it if for ranked mode. That's fine. You can.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I'm saying
people complaining of this game. This isn't fun. I hate this. This isn't.
Then
fair.
they don't have to play it. Because that was my point. I was going to go in with Fortnite. I don't give a shit how much stuff Fortnite adds.
All right, so they take the time to add in. They take the time in to add solos. They do all the infrastructure and stuff to get that to work, which takes away time from them doing anything else for ranked mode. I don't know. You're gonna have to take resources away from something to do that. That's my only concern there too.
And that's okay.
This is what I think happened with the game.
People are gonna be bitch regardless. That's just how it is.
I think the game really lost a lot of its luster with the huge amount of the community, and then EA was like, "We're gonna take a lot of you, and we're gonna give you Star Wars, right?" Then they said, "We're just gonna keep a little bit on you to tune up Apex here and there, and keep that crowd happy because I can't imagine. There's nothing new." There's nothing. There's one new character. This game's been out for a few months now, and it's just like you're up against PUBG, which has 4 or 5 maps now, and it's getting updated all the time. Call of Duty, which is still getting updated. How long has that been out,
though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're up against some really a lot of competition.
Give me a second.
Well, you're up against a lot of competition, and it's. I mean, when you're in the battle royale realm, you gotta keep the attention up, man. If you have one map, one game mode, you just introduce ranked, you just introduce a new legend.
They're just entering season 2. They weren't gonna have everything like you have Fortnite, which is in what season 18?
Yeah.
What fucking season are they in? They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's been going on long.
But even that, I don't know how many people still play PUBG. I barely know anybody who plays it.
That's a lot.
It's still a lot.
It's a lot more. I mean, you look at the Twitch numbers. You know what I mean? And it's the reason why a lot of people are playing is because there is that hardcore fan base that they cater to.
Right now, they look nice. That's because season just dropped and it's going to go down.
Right.
You don't even need to look at Twitch numbers. It's still like the second most played game on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're up against some really long, hard players.
I argue that I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to focus so much on how do we compete with Fortnite. You're not going to.
No, but I think they need to focus.
How do you maximize your profit?
Yeah, and I think they need to do that by new shit, constant new shit, a new weapon, a month. You know what I mean? A new game mode here, there.
I mean, they
a
just
new updates to
a
maps
weapon for the season.
Yeah.
In the L-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. So introduce new weapons, definitely. It's just they gotta strike a good that was the thing is they're definitely taking that season long approach where instead of every week something new, it's every season, but seasons take time. So you're gonna get bored by halfway through the season. So I'm hoping that
that's what I'm saying. It's like
the second character they're teasing is a mid-season drop instead of a season 3 character.
Yeah.
Then you have a reason to be excited mid-season for something new.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still like the game. I still play it. I still enjoy it. But I might be a minority. I probably am the minority.
Well, I've been playing battle royales for a few years now. You know
See,
what I
I
mean?
hate battle royales, and it's funny because this is the only one I like.
Yeah, I've been playing for a while now, and this is you have to constantly add new shit because you can't play the same map hundreds of times a day and expect people to not doze off. You know, when your season 2
Especially
drops
when
and
you
you
play
haven't
random,
added
they all drop
anything.
Skull Town.
Yes, you can though.
Freaking map.
I'm gonna fight back on that too though. You totally can expect people to play it every day. League of Legends still fucking exists. Okay,
People are addicted to their MOBAs.
Yeah.
like
Dota
it is
2 and Heat.
possible. It's just I agree. You do have to add more content to keep it new and fresh. But yeah, we've had a MOBA be the top of Twitch for like 12 years now.
But how many like characters does League of Legends have?
It has a lot, and that's I agree. You've got to keep it fresh and interesting. But
How
like,
many
the
did-
idea
how
of, like they won't just play one map is blatantly false.
Well, I mean,
In my
I'd play one map too, but you gotta keep it fresh. You gotta be dropping shit all the time, like Fortnite and PUBG.
League also has had a much longer time around that they've added characters in. They've once they struck a good balance, then it was just adding things.
Yeah.
Apex is still struggling to find that like good solid ground in which to now we have it and then add shit.
I think a duo mode would help. A solo mode would help.
I think a duo mode is more realistic than a solo mode.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see solo mode. I solo modes are fun. You just don't want to constantly have your headset on, you know? You just kind of want to throw it on, have something in the background, and get a couple kills. Get your items.
I mute anyway. I mute the randoms and just use the ping system.
Yeah, they just added a ping system in PUBG.
Yeah, of course they
It's
did.
fucking
They added
great.
it Fortnite after Apex. Like Apex made it, and then everyone else stole it.
They took a bunch of ideas from Apex, and then I actually just started playing PUBG again. But there's 4 maps in PUBG. You know, there's all sorts of new shit that I haven't seen in some time.
PUBG's also been around for 3 years now. Is it 3 or more?
About 3 years.
So I mean, where's Apex going to be in 3 years from now? We'll even be around. Who knows?
No, I don't think so. If it's going this route, they have to really.
At least it's not another Realm Royale Cliffy B.
It just doesn't seem like they really dedicated a lot of resources to it. That's kind of what the vibe I get. Like it's kind of just their free to play game that you have, or you play, you know, here and there.
I think he'll still be around. It's just never going to be top dog, and that's okay to me.
Yeah, I would like to see like a capture the flag, like some old school kind of like Unreal Tournament modes. There's just a lot of cool stuff they could do with it because the map is fun. There's a lot of verticality to it that other games don't have.
I will say I like the addition of the challenges they've made for this season, where they've now put in challenges that are daily and weekly, and they're actually gameplay based. Because like they're not the first one to have challenges. Fortnite has challenges. But Fortnite's challenges are like dance on the barn while hitting a golf ball 50 feet, which is like, okay, how does that have to do with the game?
It's just fun. It's just like when they had that stupid concert, you know, in the middle of the game. Just like stuff like that. If, like I said, if you have one map that you're riding on,
and that's why I associate Fortnite with children.
Yeah, but it's still it's you know, people play it, man. It's got one map.
People associate Nintendo with children. I associate Fortnite with children. Like I will play Apex because it is not children.
I mean,
gameplay is the first and foremost thing in that game.
You play the randoms that I play with, man. They're fucking insane, dude.
I don't hear them. Thank God.
All right, well, let's move on to Etika.
Oh, man.
So this dude took his life. Is he in LA or New York City?
New York.
This picture with him next to the fucking lotion.
He was funny, man. Like
I had no idea who he was.
He was a big Nintendo YouTuber. Like he was known for his reaction videos. He was always like over the top, 110% like freak out, funny moments. But he also took the time to talk to fans. And he was like, the last couple months, you could tell like something was wrong. He was doing edgy tweets, like really dumb tweets, like stuff about Jews, and like just seems like he was like kind of like losing his grip on his mind.
Yeah, he like uploaded porn to his channel and got his channel shut down.
Extremely self-destructive. he was hanging out with people that and really interacting with people that were not that thought it was just one big joke when there was definitely underlying factors with his mental health that were not being addressed. One of the worst people, and I'll call him out, Keemstar, was not fucking helping. Was like just going for views. If you Google who Keemstar is, you'll see how shitty of a person he is.
You can't talk about Wayne's favorite YouTuber of all time.
Keemstar is a fucking trash person. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit.
No, yeah, he had an interview with him, and
I saw Keemstar's tweets during the time Etiquette was missing, and it was just like
it was definitely exploitative.
Really it was horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, just using it, and like, I mean, don't get me wrong. When it first happened, I was like, all right, this is like I've seen what's been happening with Etika. This could be another kind of the boy who cried wolf situation. And then the first 48 hours passed, and I was just like,
when he was missing, you're saying
48 hours missing. Like after the first 48, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
And then the news broke, and I was just like,
well, anyone who watched that video where he had the police come to his house, you could tell he's something was wrong with him. Like he was going through some sort of like, it seemed like bipolar disorder. That's what it kind of felt like. Some sort of like schizophrenia maybe. Something was up. And anyone with 2 fucking brain cells could tell that something was going on in his fucking head.
Mental health is extremely important, especially today with just how, especially if you are somebody who uses a lot of social media.
Yeah. Now I have a question. He uploads a video of basically his goodbye letter.
It was a suicide note.
It was a suicide note. He uploaded it at midnight on the day that he, I guess, committed suicide. I don't know if it was proven or not.
He had it set as a timed upload.
Do we know when he committed suicide, or is that still
I don't
up in
think
the
those
air?
details have been announced. I don't know if the autopsy's been done, those details have been made public. But odds probably before that video went live.
Now he uploads the video, and once it was confirmed that he passed away, YouTube took it down. Do you think that they took it down?
They took it down before that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They took it down as soon as Superman went missing.
Do you think that they should have left it up?
Do you
think they should leave it up, I should say?
I don't know, because it's...
I'm going to say no just because of the precedent.
Yeah.
You're saying because he uploaded it when he was sick, basically.
It's that, and I mean...
Or you're saying because you don't want... People shouldn't be uploading their suicide notes to YouTube.
It's more that. It's more like, especially in social media world, we've kind of proven like a lot of life is a copycat world, like how sports is a copycat league. That's a rough precedent, in my opinion, to be putting up, which sucks. Like, because it is an important thing to have up, I think, too, at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing it's the thing with mental health right now, where it's like, especially when we live in this society right now where social media is everywhere, anonymity on the internet, and hell, it's gotten to the point where people don't even care if they're anonymous or not. They'll just say whatever they want with no repercussions, no fear of anything. And some people have thick skin. Some people can handle it. Some people can ignore the noise. Other people can't. Other people are, I don't want to say too soft, because that's not the right words, but some people just don't have the capacity to ignore the noise. And
true, but yeah, like also my line of thinking is, I don't know, I'm trying to think of how to word this in not a protect the children kind of way.
The internet is the greatest and worst invention of my time.
Yeah, especially YouTube. I mean, remember the whole Jake Paul kidnapped, or Logan Paul, whatever bullshit, and you had 50,000 fucking 10-year-olds making videos of them crying because they thought Jake Paul's gonna die, and then you're gonna give them a suicide note.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's why they took it down, for that exact reason. It sets a bad
especially
precedent.
in a Nintendo space. The
important thing for me to take away from this is if you're dealing with mental health, you're dealing with something, don't getting help is not a sign of weakness. Pride is not something that you think you have to sacrifice.
Well,
Like, getting help is, if you have mental problems, if you have problems with your mental health, it's important to take care of yourself.
Well, the problem that I saw with him in particular is he didn't really know what was going on. Like, if you have bipolar and schizophrenia and you're not clinically diagnosed with it, you just lose your mind and you kind of just get swept up in your own brain.
I gotta imagine it's got to be horrifying to yourself.
Yeah, you don't even know what's going on, and before you know it, you're jumping off a fucking bridge.
And the people he was associating with were not
right. That's you rely on. You rely on your friends and family to take care of you in that time, and it didn't seem like. I don't know. I really don't want to say that because I don't know what his family tried to do. Maybe they did try to help.
That's the thing. I don't know his upbringing. I don't know what his family stuff. I don't know how his relationship with his parents were. I don't know those things. I can only speak from what I've seen as him as a YouTuber. I never met the man. I've never,
I don't. To be very successful. That's for sure.
I enjoyed the work he produced. I enjoyed watching his videos. They brought a smile to my face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, man. Definitely a shame, and especially in the like in the Black community, like getting mental health is just not really a top priority for a lot of them. There's a lot of
it's a whole masculine like machismo.
Yeah.
That's a well documented issue in low income cultures, in Black culture. Spanish, I think definitely like I think Latin American cultures where like sports,
yeah,
anything where like masculinity is definitely at the forefront. Anything to do with like saying like you need to talk to somebody or need help is a sign of weakness, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's you're bettering yourself.
Yeah. That said, though. White males still basically lead the charts by a mile when it comes to suicide. So it really is you just got to make sure you're around good people that can take care of you. And if you start to fucking lose your mind, that's the scariest part, man.
I mean, I went through it. Like I was there where I thought, getting help was a sign of weakness for depression when I had my depression. And thank God for college and thank God for therapists being part of your paid tuition.
Yeah.
That $50,000 of debt at least helped me get some help for my mental health.
Yeah. And antidepressants aren't a bad route either. If you're like clinically depressed, sometimes it's just a chemical imbalance in your brain. A couple pills, you're fine.
I never needed medication. I just needed somebody to talk to that wasn't a friend, that wasn't associated with me at all, that was just a complete stranger that had the medical training and actual training with mental health to know what to do and know how to react, and sessions with them very impactful. And when I left college, I'll have my bout with depression here and there for like one day. I'll get through it and then I'm fine.
Yeah. All right, moving on. R.I.P. Etika. I watched some of his videos when all this unfolded, and he's pretty fucking funny dude too. What is this anime pussy song? Have you heard this song?
He had a fondness for waifus.
Okay.
Definitely a very adult stuff too. He was crazy. Like not to say he was crazy, because that's wow.
Did Nintendo put him on? Was he like part of Nintendo, or was he a little too?
No, he was never like part of Nintendo. He was just a big Nintendo fan.
Okay.
He loved Smash Brothers. He loved RPGs. Like he was a huge like Xenoblade fan.
And he loved anime pussy.
He loved them anime pussy.
All right, moving on to tech. We got basically two things that I want to talk about, and then we're gonna get out of here. Johnny Ive left Apple. This has been dominating the headlines in tech.
For some fucking reason. Okay.
Well,
I don't get why it's dominating tech, because basically what the news is Johnny Ive left Apple to make his own studio where his client is Apple.
Well, the contention is from a Wall Street Journal report. Towards the end of his tenure at Apple, he was sort of missing meetings. He wasn't showing up. People were relying on him for certain things. He just kind of was like despondent. He was going back to the UK a lot to visit his sick father. And you can just tell, like, after Steve Jobs died, he's like, this is fucking boy, man. After he died, he kind of was uninspired, and he was kind of just going through the motions, and maybe he was more disconnected, especially once your father gets sick. And the Wall Street Journal kind of spun it to make it sound like that's the reason why they kind of pushed him out. And that's been a point of contention, because then Apple released a statement. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Apple released a statement. Tim Cook himself released a statement to one of the reporters. It says, "Hi, Dylan. Hope you are well. This story is absurd. A lot of the reporting and certainly the conclusions just don't match with reality. At a base level, it shows a lack of understanding about how the design team works and how Apple works. It distorts relationships, decisions, and events to the point that we just don't recognize the company it claims to describe. The design team is phenomenally talented, as Johnny said. They're stronger than ever, and I have a complete confidence that they will thrive under Jeff, Evans, and Alan's leadership. We know the truth, and we know the incredible things they're capable of doing. The projects they're working on will blow you away. Best, Tim." Signature sent from my iPhone. Let me show you left that in.
Tim Apple.
Thank you, Tim Apple. But this, when I saw this, I was like, God damn, Tim Cook is furious. This is Tim Cook at his absolute worst. I mean, you talk about scathing. Some people are like, how is this a scathing response? This is from Tim Cook. When he comes at you and says, this distorts relationships, decisions, and events to the point we don't even recognize the company it claims to describe, you just got fucking verbally raped by Tim Apple. Come on now. And but essentially he's just saying, like, a lot of this reporting is wrong, and Apple never comments on stuff like that ever. So you can tell that there was some sort of there's some sort of gap between what Wall Street Journal found out and what Apple understands, or at least what Tim Cook understands. A lot of it's saying, like, maybe this is gearing up to get Tim out of CEO position and a completely whole new executive leadership coming in, a whole new Apple being basically turned into. I think that needs to happen, in my opinion. I think this last push of Apple products, the Mac Pro, this new MacBook that's coming out, this new redesigned iPhone 11 with micro LED, not the iPhone 11 that's coming out, but the next one after that.
The next one looks like trash.
Yeah, I'm not really even interested in that one at all. But the next one that they're talking about with that micro LED and all that fun stuff, and maybe an under-screen fingerprint sensor and hiding the, I think that's going to be that last push for Tim and his entire leadership and the executives that he works with. And then this new sort of fresh Apple structure is going to come in and then take it from there. Because, I mean, we're still in that gap period. We're still in a period after Steve Jobs where the company doesn't really know how to. They don't have the leadership that Steve Jobs brought, and with that leadership, there was very clear, concise ideals. This is what we do. This is how we do it, and we're gonna sacrifice whatever to get there. With Tim, it's like, this is what we do, but also investors need this, and we're gonna have to kind of cut back here because of our relationship with semiconductor, and you know what I mean. There's a lot of compromise going on. I think
my supply chain.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this sort of thing is going to, because Johnny Ive was a big roadblock in that from the article, basically saying, like, hey, a lot of the design team was like, we want Johnny Ive's approval. He's like God to us. I mean, imagine you're a designer and you're working on Apple products all your life. You're coming up in college. He's like fucking God to you. Then you get to work underneath him, and then you finally get his approval on a project you're working for. And then he comes in and he's just like, you know what? It's pretty cool, but I'm going to have to head out for a little bit and I'll see. And then it just never happens. Like, that leaves you kind of spurred a little bit. So I can understand why, you know, the reporting from whoever they were talking to kind of described that. But that was the contention.
I guess, but like, I don't know. That's just beyond bizarre to me, just because in my opinion, personally, like, dude, we've had the same Apple designs for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
What new magic design has Johnny Ive done or anyone done that's like, yeah, dude, I'm looking up to that.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, I would say after the iPhone 5, no one was really inspired. And then when Steve died, it seemed like everyone was kind of just like, let's just incremental updates and just try to get the investors on board and sell as many as we can until maybe someone else comes along. Johnny Ive leaves. He creates Love From, which is his first client is Apple. Who the fuck knows? Maybe he's going to sell like, iPad leather fucking accessories or something. I'm not exactly sure. But I am very, very interested in seeing a new leadership take place. Not this kind of stopgap leadership, but like a new Johnny Ive come in to really take reins, because he seemed very instrumental in the early days of Apple when Apple was really the king. Now with him leaving in this sort of manner and the everything kind of surrounding it, the stock just went straight down for a little bit. I'm curious to know how investors feel about this sort of Apple that we're in now. I mean, I'm always very bullish on Apple. I just like Apple. I like what they do. I like what they stand for. And I think they have a lot of good longevity within them. But they certainly need the leadership that they've been lacking. And when you read that thing, I mean, one of his last real pet projects was Apple Park, and before that was Apple Watch. And what was interesting about the article was how he basically wanted Apple Watch to be an actual watch company, like an actual watch that was expensive. So essentially what Tim Cook and the leadership did, they said, okay, we're going to create Apple Watch for the mainstream consumer, but we'll give you Apple Watch Edition, which is essentially just the same exact thing covered in gold, except we sell it for $12,000. And they essentially sold none of them. They fucking sold a big fat goose egg. Well, they sold some of them, but they had thousands of these fucking $12,000 gold Apple Watches in inventory. And I guess after that, he was like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm done with all this fucking computer nonsense. I want to go. I mean, he's so rich, you know, at that point, it's, I guess, hard to keep people inspired. But yeah, there's some big news.
I think that's the other reason why. Like, this is why I don't care about it. It's like, yeah, dude, you're designing a computer product like a year, maybe at most. Like, if you're into product design, that's got to be the fucking worst job in the world. If you're actually like an inspired product designer, like you want to make more than just, I made the unibody MacBook and this is all I'm going to do now for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, if you want to be an inspired product designer, you want to actually make fucking products.
Well, it went a little bit further than that. A lot of it was like software design and how the software UI and all of that stuff kind of implemented with the hardware. But even then, in the article, it states like he was just not showing up and just really didn't care that much for it. And I don't blame him, because a lot of the stuff that they've been doing has been kind of boring. There's no clear definition of where to go, like with Steve Jobs. I mean, at least from what we've seen, only what we know, Steve Jobs would come in and say, okay, I need this. I'm going to pay you whatever you have to do to make this product. Have fun. That's not what we have of Apple today. And I feel like that's why a lot of the enthusiasts have moved towards back to PC, just because that's where a lot of the fun innovation is happening, where you're getting, 4K 144 hertz displays and, batteries that are fucking the entire chassis and, vents that fucking flop open when you open the laptop. That stuff's fun, and that's kind of what we expect to see out of Apple. Right now, all we get is just like, here's another clean, sleek Apple product that's wildly overpriced. Still great products, but
a fan that actually cools your components.
Yeah.
Really riveting shit.
Another thing that I thought was interesting, I watched a video recently where they found out that Razer has been undervolting a lot of their cards, their laptops, and that's why they're getting such great thermals. And they think that Apple is doing the same thing. They're just kind of undervolting these new i9s and i7s down just a notch to be able to reach these thermals that they're getting. Because everyone was like, wow, this new generation of Intel is so cool. It just seems like they're just undervolting them.
Yeah. Like, sorry, you're still sticking a fucking 40-watt part into a thing this big. Yes.
Yeah, so it's not so much the vapor chamber cooler as it is just math, really. All right, speaking of undervolting cards, NVIDIA releases a new line of super GeForce RTX graphics cards. Here we go, dude. NVIDIA's high-end RTX line is getting 3 new additions today in the form of a new variant. The 2060, 2070, and 2080 are getting super lines. There's no 2080 Super 2080 Ti, which I think is a missed proposition. I would love to own a card that was the Super 2080 Ti. Maybe even a Super Titan. I think that would be cool. But no, just 2060, 70.
Well, it's because of how they're making these cards.
So how are they making? I don't really know too much about it. I don't know the benchmarks either. So I'm gonna look at them now.
What these cards are? So like, well, the Super 2060. They'll take that as the base. What that is it's actually a 2070 chip, just kind of like with a couple of things taken out. It's not the 2060 chip. So they're taking the chip from the higher model.
So they are undervolting their cards.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah. But at the same time, if the price point's there, I'm honestly actually looking through a lot of the benchmarks and things that came out today. AMD, I'm still probably going to buy a new AMD Ryzen. Vega, though, this is what I was worried about with their pricing.
Yeah.
NVIDIA could answer, and it looks like NVIDIA's really answering. Because at 2060, so the 2060 is normally, what, $350? The Super is going to be $400. But for $400, it's better than a 2070 that used to cost $500.
Right.
Like, by far.
They basically just dropped $100 on everything. And that's very competitive. And that's kind of NVIDIA's ace in the sleeve. You know, they actually can do that with their products, where AMD just doesn't have that overhead. Really, they just don't. And it is going to be pretty competitive. I agree though. I think like a good Ryzen system with a nice fucking super RTX card,
which also
less than $1,000. That's not bad.
That's coming out this week. So we should be getting benchmarks, and I just want this to be out already because all of the benchmarks I have seen from it is Intel's fucked. There's no way around it. Like, it's not Intel screwed. And that's something we could talk about too, is that internal Intel memo. If you saw that.
No, if you have a link, send it over.
I'll find it. Intel even made their own memo going around basically
saying we're fucked?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Like, there's been some leak benchmarks coming out from Passmark that shows the $200 chip that's a 6-core 12-thread having better single-core performance than the 5 gigahertz i9. It looks insane.
Oh, yes, I did see this. Let me see if I can get the actual thing here.
But for graphics, Vega, or not, yeah, Navi is Vega, basically. It might be decent. It sounds like it's going to be decent for the price point. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope that'll be good for the price point, but like now it's going up against this 2060 Super or just a 2070
right
cheaper, because that was Navi, not Vega. The new one, Navi, that was Navi's poll, was it's cheaper. But if all their cards are cheaper now, same performance, well, then you can make an argument that, hey, your hopes and dreams of RTX becoming a thing in 10 years is worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we all knew that they were going to answer AMD in that way. I didn't know they were going to do with this super line. I wonder if that means that they're not going to release a new card this year.
No, this is the new card this year, because they just released the 20 line last year. They did release lines every like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So like this is their TI refresh basically. Instead of calling it TIs, they're just called Super now, I guess.
Right.
Because they're not the same core. They're the core from the die from above.
Right. Yeah. So there's no more TI moniker.
Except for the 1660 Ti.
Right, because they're not RTX.
And
they're GTX.
NVIDIA, just fucking please make a naming structure that makes sense.
No, it's starting to make sense now. It starts to make sense when you add the Super in it, because then that reserves the TI for the GTX line, the Super for the RTX line, and then the 20 series.
No, that
I can
yeah,
see it now. The 16 is a
that
little
make it-
goofy, but
No, it's this. It's the here's the 1650 and the 1660 and then the 2060.
yeah. Yeah, so here it is with the AMD Ryzen 5 basically clocking out over the i9 in the single-threaded performance use case, which is it's pretty fucking impressive, man. It's
Well, I
pretty
mean,
impressive for $200.
so let's see. Let's like Sniper Elite 4, and this is also not usually great for NVIDIA cards. The 2060 is beating this 2060 Super is beating a 2070. Like,
Yeah, let me see if I can
noticeably.
find that. Oh, here it is.
And then if you keep going through, the 2060 Super is basically a 2070.
Is beating the what?
The 2070,
Oh, yeah.
or like a good 2070. The 26 Super is like 2 frames within always, like better
Yeah.
or worse, and that's like the good 2070 is not a cheap 2070.
I mean, even the sort of Founders Edition 2060 overclock is pretty on par with this 2070, at
It
least
is.
in this benchmark. So I mean, the RTX or the
That was
RTX
the
line is
argument. That was always the argument. You buy a 2060 or you buy a 2080 plus.
yeah, right. And then if you go to the Super 2070, yeah, it's handedly beating the 2060, but sort of right there on the 2070 overclocks. And then the Radeon 7 is beating both of those cards. But then again,
Depending on the game, though.
yeah, okay,
And
yeah,
also, that's the other thing is the 2070 Super basically is the better buy Radeon 7.
right.
Radeon 7 is still $700. The 2060 Super is 600, and it's just the same card basically.
2070.
For the 2070 Super.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's really not that much of a difference at all. I mean, you're getting about, from some of these benchmarks, you're getting anywhere from like 3 to 10 frames at the most. But really, it's really just about, I mean, this is at 4K Ultra. And if you can stand at 4K Ultra over 60 frames, then you're going to have to go with the cheapest price possible, you know? Because the next step up from 60 frames is 120. So until a card hits 120, I wouldn't even really consider that if you're going for the best bang for your buck. As long as you can steady over 60 frames, 4K Ultra, then go with the cheapest price that you can get it at. And yeah, the 2070 Super seems to be right there. It seems to be pretty nice, man. Pretty nice. Yeah, so it looks like an all-red system. Still a bit of ways. Still a ways away, man. Still a ways away. It just seems like the problem is, I think, NVIDIA is only graphics. They only have to worry about the graphics. And they have so much overhead. They have so many different SKUs and so many different dies that they can tweak and do all sorts of things. It's like, all right, we released this awesome card at a fucking at this price, and then they can come out and say, okay, well, our awesomer card, we'll just drop that down in price and then release something even better. It's kind of hard to compete on that level.
And then their new cards are, yeah, like the 2060, because that's the one I'm most interested in, obviously. Because that's like that 300 to 400 has always been the sweet spot to me, not $1,200.
Yeah.
But okay, NVIDIA. But like the 2060 Super is, for most of these charts, it's faster than the 2060 overclock, which used to be the bang for your buck. And then you can still overclock that. So for $50 more, yeah, I'd probably buy this for $50 more.
All right, so here is the memo.
And then yeah, Intel's big goof. And I just want to see. I want to see the Verizon like real benchmarks from people I trust.
It looks like it was deleted off of Reddit.
All of these leaks are so good.
Yeah, they're looking really nice. Intel has some competition for sure.
At every
I can't find the
level.
memo. It looks like they maybe got deleted.
Let me see if I can find another copy of it.
That was like a thunderstorm going on. Did you hear that?
No. But basically, the memo at its core was a circularized internal memo from Intel trying to basically address how competitive they are versus AMD and how competitive AMD is looking.
Yeah, here it is.
And it was not a good look.
AMD at a glance. Yeah, they show you this. They show you their revenue. They show you the CEO.
All about their secret sauce, which apparently Intel's one of Intel's pillars in their secret sauce is security.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what the last 2 years has to say about that.
No, that should tell you everything about this memo. Is that they're saying they're screwed, but hey, we still have security. Yeah.
Yeah, it says key AMD competitive threats are from high-end products. At a high level, the experts on Intel's performance, power, and competitive analysis team say that the competitive threats that AMD poses to Intel can be summarized as follows. AMD offers high-performance CPUs, posing direct competition to Intel in both our core client and data center CPU businesses. With our announced ambitions to bring new discrete graphics to market, we are bringing new competition to both AMD and NVIDIA's graphics businesses. Okay. Who the fuck is going to buy an Intel fucking GPU? AMD has recently been gaining some traction in winning public cloud offerings, and competition from AMD is shaping up to be especially tough in high-performance computing. HPC performance is usually driven by a number of cores and a number of memory channels. Intel is challenged on both fronts. AMD's upcoming next-generation Zen Core products, codenamed Rome for servers and Matisse for desktop, will intensify our desktop and especially server competition, which is their bread and butter, is a lot of their server and data center enterprise offerings. The latter is likely to be the most intense in about a decade.
Because Rome's like when AMD first showed it off, you have to remember they were showing Rome against they were showing a single Rome chip against 2 platinum Xeons.
Yeah.
Those platinum Xeons are 10K a piece. One of the Rome chips was crushing that platform.
Yeah.
Like that's where I've seen a lot of server usage switching towards AMD because they're priced so competitive, but their performance is so much better.
Yeah, and it really, I mean, if you're a business and you're kitting a server, you just hire a guy to do it. And you say, this is my budget, and if you can fit in this budget, then that's great, and we'll pay you the extra commission on top of that. They're always going to choose the more budget-friendly option that gives you the most bang for your buck, because then they get the commission on top of that. And
well, I mean, it's that, but it's also, I mean, that's just normal capitalism. I'm not going to spend twice the price for worse performance.
Right.
I'm not
well, sometimes you would in enterprise because sometimes they don't even care. There's like special deals and stuff. Sometimes they will pay that extra price for less performance. But in this case, it's like
it depends when also that performance is getting worse over worse because of Intel's security pillars. Right. Yeah, I'm not looking at an Intel server at the moment. Basically.
Right. And it says here, outside of desktop and servers, Intel's competitive position in notebooks and business PCs is stronger as customers value specific aspects such as productivity, performance, battery life, and overall manageability, where Intel has clear advantages versus the competition. So they're still thinking that their mobile performance is still bad, that they're still good on mobile.
And to be honest, they are. Like, I think Zen's looking better on mobile than it has ever before, but Intel still has laptops down.
Yeah.
Until Apple leaves.
Right.
Basically. Like that's the highlight of the memo is like, well, we
have laptops. We have mobile laptops. And then finally, by leveraging TSMC's 7nm manufacturing, AMD no longer manufactures its own chips. AMD can drive higher core counts and higher performance than it could previously with Global Foundries as its in-house manufacturer. These 7nm products will amplify the near-term competitive challenge from AMD. At Computex, Intel launched our own 10nm Ice Lake products, 10th gen Intel Core, to strongly positive reviews. And it's like, yeah, but you're 10 nanometer and AMD 7 nanometer, they don't seem to stack up. It seems like AMD 7 nanometer has an advantage.
It does. It does, but it's also not because 10 versus 7. 10 versus 7 is a lot closer than it sounds like, just because of the way all of these different houses measure a nanometer. A nanometer is not like
Right.
an actual unit of measurement like you would think of like a centimeter is.
AMD's 7 is Intel's 10.
It's very, very close. The issue with Intel's 10 nanometer stuff is because of their great, harking back to it, pillar of security. They had to go and fix all of their major flaws, so their 10 nanometer jump is looking like maybe a 2 to 3% performance gain total.
Mm-hmm.
While AMD is sitting here like, well, we got like 15 to 20% on core clocks and everything else. Like,
Yeah.
it's a massive difference on how much they were able to improve those performance jumps.
And like Intel, if privacy and security is that important to their chips, I wouldn't mind paying whatever in a loss of performance to use Intel. You know what I mean? If it was AMD versus Intel, AMD had worse security and at a lower price, I would still pay the higher price for Intel's better security and privacy. But that's just not the case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but the issue is it's the opposite right now.
Yeah,
it's
just
that's
not
why I
the
keep
case.
making fun of it.
It's just they're living in an alternative reality there. But yeah, this is interesting. There's a lot more to this as well. If you're interested in this and what Intel thinks of AMD, go check it out. Because it does give you it is funny. I would love to see like what AMD thinks of NVIDIA, like if they had an internal NVIDIA memo. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that would be cool too. But it's also other people have gone more in depth with this too, and have been able to track down comments on that letter and things like that were also internally circulated. You know, no one's
really
obviously, but like even the people inside are like looking at this memo of like, no, it's actually like this memo is fucking bullshit. It's actually even worse than this memo saying.
Oh, really?
The memo is trying to like really spin it towards being positive. And like a lot of the internal comments are like, no, we're completely screwed because of this, and this, and we don't do anything about it. Because Intel made a big bet on software, and they do good on software optimization, but they fuck their hardware over basically.
Yeah.
In comparison to AMD, because Intel's software optimization team is bigger than all of AMD.
Mm-hmm.
There's more employees there than all of AMD, but the product's not matching up at the moment, supposedly. So I just want I want to see reviews for these processors already, man.
Yeah, me too.
Like, because all of the leaks, the rumors are, like, I had a hunch it would be good. Like, that's why I bought into AMD a couple years ago again, is I want a competitive space. I want them to both be competitive. But, dude.
Yeah.
They're looking really fucking good.
What would be so interesting is if AMD takes Intel's spot in the CPU realm, but then Intel takes NVIDIA's spot in the GPU realm. And that would leave Intel or NVIDIA to sort of, who knows where they're going. Maybe they take AMD's spot in the console gaming realm. Well, I would love to see like all of this switch
Intel's
around.
Gonna take AMD's spot in the desktop graphics world.
Intel
is, yeah.
You think?
Yeah, really not competitive performance. Yeah. That's about what I expect of their graphics attempts coming out soon.
Yeah, I would love to see some sort of like changing of the guard there. But for now, I'm still really interested in what this like this whole sort of ARM-based movement is going to do. I think that's where I'm most interested. I would love a small iPad laptop hybrid that's always connected to the internet with like 24-hour battery life, super optimized, that can, crunch H.265 video codecs like it's no one's business. But until then, it's kind of just right now pure performance, pure power for the best price. It's kind of been this race for a little bit now, and we'll see if anything groundbreaking happens in the future. But for now, it's been fun to watching AMD sort of try to get the reins back on things.
I mean, it's been really a lot of fun and impressive. I mean, AMD looks like it's about to leap ahead while dropping a under $1,000 16 core 32 thread CPU when like 2 years ago we were like, holy shit, they made a 6 core.
Yeah. Yep. All right, everyone. We'll catch you guys next week. Love you all. What's up from New Zealand? Hey, you New Zealand in the house. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for the DIY or Die show. And then I'm going to see you guys Friday for live mixing. Then I'm going to see you guys Monday for the Monday show. And then next Tuesday for No Life Digital. Maybe I'll finish that Cyberpunk video. I don't know. It's kind of just sitting there. I don't like having footage that's not doing anything. But then again, is it even still relevant? All right. I'm going to let you guys go. Have fun. Peace.